This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Westmoreland man charged with murder. 20-year-old Demaro Campbell, otherwise called the G-Man, of Old Road, Whithorn, Westmoreland, has been charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm. Campbell was charged with the February 28 murder of Lamarck Allen, otherwise called Happy, a farmer of Logwood District, Whithorn. The Savannah Lamar police say about 12:10 p.m., Allen was at his gate when he was approached by Campbell and another man who had a brief discussion with him. The men then opened gunfire at Allen and he ran. He was chased and shot multiple times before collapsing. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Campbell turned himself into the police on August 24 and was subsequently charged. 16-year-old boy charged for burglary in St. Thomas. A 16-year-old boy in St. Thomas has been charged with several offenses following a burglary in Golden Grove Meadows in the parish on Sunday. The police say about 12:30 a.m., a woman woke up to a broken window at the back of her house. It was later discovered that her iPhone and $20,000 were missing. The police were summoned and the cellular phone tracked and discovered in the teen's possession. He was subsequently arrested and charged with burglary and larceny, as well as receiving stolen property. Crossroads tax office closed for AC repairs. The Crossroads tax office in St. Andrew has once again been forced to close because of a malfunction in air conditioning unit. A release from Tax Administration Jamaica says the location will be closed from Wednesday to Friday. During this time, persons are being advised to visit the revenue service centers located in downtown Kingston and Cotton Spring to conduct their usual transactions. TAJ says staff from the Crossroads tax office have been redeployed to bolster the operations of the other offices. It explains that the closure of Crossroads is necessary as the tax authority continues to take the necessary steps to ensure the well-being of its staff and the customers by investigating and correcting a problem stemming from a malfunction in air conditioning unit impacting the location. The office is expected to reopen on Monday, September 5. Last year, the tax office was also closed due to a malfunction in air conditioning units. 3 suspects in killing of St. Mary man apprehended. The St. Anne police have arrested 3 people in relation to the killing of a man in the vicinity of the Little Duns River attraction in Oteria, St. Anne on Saturday evening. Dead is 25-year-old Roisin Housen, otherwise called the brother of Guyshill St. Mary and Mansfield, St. Anne. St. Anne's acting police chief, Superintendent David White, said all 3 were arrested during an intensive operation in the area between 1 and 4 p.m. on Tuesday. The operation was to carry out a further investigation into the killing. We would have picked up some persons that we believe were of interest to us in our investigation, and we would have given a warning. A number of summons were served on some of the perpetrators inside that space, he said. He added that a strong police presence will be maintained in the space for the next 2 weeks to prevent reprisal attacks. What we have done is intensify investigations from the recent murder that occurred there on Saturday, and what we are finding out now is that there are a number of criminal elements coming out of Steertown, and we intensified those investigations. We would have suspected that no doubt there would be reprisal, and we want to make sure that the citizens who use that beach are safe, he noted. Superintendent White said the police will also maintain their presence in the Steertown community, where persons allegedly linked to the crime are believed to be operating. As usual, Steertown was always one of our crime-infested areas, one of the hotspots for St. Anne, and we usually have a police presence in that space. What the fear is that if they can do a murder right in the tourism belt, the possibility exists that they may want to take revenge for the man that was killed, he explained. Superintendent White said yesterday's operation also saw several illegal stalls removed from the area and several summons served. He implored residents to stay away from the area for their own safety for the next 2 weeks. Cops are still searching for escaped St. Anne prisoners. Despite the several efforts, police have not been able to recapture any of the 4 prisoners who escaped from the Ocho Rios police lockup in St. Anne almost 4 weeks ago. The men have managed to elude several dragnets, but head of the Area 2 Police, Acting Assistant Commissioner Dwight Powell, said lawmen will not relent. None of them have been recaptured, but we are still working on catching them, Acting ACP Powell told the news. Reports were that about 1 a.m. on August 5, police officers on duty performed the routine cell checks. Shortly after, sounds were heard coming from the direction of the cells, and the police went to investigate. An alarm was raised when 4 prisoners were discovered missing. The police stated that preliminary investigations indicate that implements were used to cut sections of the metal gates of the cells, allowing the prisoners to escape. The escapees are 40-year-old Terence Harrelal of Claremont, St. Anne. He is charged with shooting with intent. 42-year-old Dennis Colburn of Islington, St. Mary. He is charged with rape. Javar Grant, 22, of Prairie, St. Anne. He is charged with illegal possession of firearm. And 30-year-old Jermaine Rogers of Mile End in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. He is charged with illegal possession of firearm. Residents of Ocho Rios and the surrounding communities are urged to be on the lookout for any strangers. Persons who see suspicious activities are encouraged to call the Ocho Rios Police at 876-974-2469, the Police 119 numbers, or Crime Stop at 311. No breakthrough in probe of senior citizen's murder in Linstead. The police in Linstead, St. Catherine, are yet to make a breakthrough in the brazen daylight murder of a senior citizen who has been described as a good Samaritan. Earl Taylor, otherwise called the Red Cap, 69-year-old laborer of Wonder Lane in Bagwalk, St. Catherine, was killed on Sunday. Trust me, he would clean businesses, buy cash pot, deposit money. Whatever you want, he would assist. He was a good Samaritan of the Linstead business community, businessman Delroy Heath said. Meanwhile, businesswoman Dorothy Horton Stern said greater emphasis needs to be placed on monitoring motorcyclists. The police need to clamp down on the bikers in and around the Linstead. A pure wickedness happening to people by bikers, Horton Stern said. About 10:30 a.m. August 28, Taylor was reportedly taking money to a financial institution when a motorcycle with 2 men aboard approached him in the vicinity of the Linstead Baptist Church. The pillion reportedly brandished a handgun and fired shots hitting Taylor repeatedly. As he fell, his attackers grabbed the bag containing an undetermined sum of money and escaped. Samuda blasted by lobby group for response to farm workers in Canada. Labour Minister Carl Samuda is coming under fire from a lobby group for his comments about not receiving evidence of Jamaican farm workers being mistreated and forced to work in deplorable conditions on farms in Canada. Chris Ramsarup, the organizer of Justice for Migrant Farm Workers, has said the minister is trying to protect the farm work program at the expense of workers. He has also accused the Jamaican government of ignoring calls to advocate for better working conditions for farm workers. Mr. Ramsarup argued that both the Jamaican and the Canadian governments have listened to the concerns but have done nothing.
So far, both governments, the Canadian government, the Jamaican government, have ignored these calls. Everybody knows, everybody knows about these conditions. In previous time, both prime ministers of the countries have heard, have listened, but have done nothing. They continue to ensure that the agricultural lobby gets its way here in Canada and perpetuates this asymmetrical power imbalance that exists between the employer lobbies and the employer class and workers. But at the same time, to also point the finger at Canada. What is the High Commissioner of Jamaica doing, the Canadian High Commissioner of Jamaica, for instance, doing to address these issues? So encouraging people in Jamaica to hold the Canadians to account. No worker should come home in a casket. No worker who is healthy should be coming back home maimed or not able to take care of their family because of dangerous working conditions and deadly working conditions in the so-called Great Global North.
Health Ministry urges parents to ensure children are fully immunized ahead of new school year. The Ministry of Health is urging parents to ensure their children are fully immunized ahead of the start of the new school year on Monday, September 5. Dr. Melody Ennis, Director of Family Health Services, says the Health Ministry continues to partner with the Education Ministry to administer routine vaccines to children for diseases such as measles, mumps, rubella, polio, as well as DPT.
And we are speaking now of the childhood vaccines. So that's your measles, mumps, and rubella, your polio, your tetanus, all of those vaccines, your DPT. Children must be up to date with their vaccines. All schools must check the children's vaccination record. If it is not satisfactory, they must make contact with the health department. We do go into schools to vaccinate. We have heard that parents are hesitating for children to get routine vaccines because they believe it's COVID vaccines we're administering. First of all, we do not even have COVID vaccines in country for children 5 to 11. We will not administer COVID-19 vaccines to your children unless you say, yes, we can. We are administering the childhood vaccine that prevents a myriad of diseases that we are so familiar with. So I'm encouraging parents, if your children are not up to speed with their immunization, please take them into their health centers so that they can be able to enter school come Monday morning.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.